The reason as to why we say it is awakening to spiritual fulfillment, awakening to enlightenment. The reason as to why we call it awakening is because we are already connected to God. He is our creator, we can't doubt that. He is inviting us to be friends. But more than that, we were created in such a way that we can operate at three levels. We can operate at the physical, at the psychological, and at the spiritual. That is why we have a body, we have a mind, and we have a soul. The body helps us to relate and operate with the things of form, things of color, things of time. And the mind helps us to relate emotionally, and so that we can feel, so that we can think, so that we can reason, and all that helps us to relate with the outside world, the world outside us, very well, because it helps us to move without falling into bad places and all that. Since we also have a soul, that is the sanctuary where the spirit, or that's the sanctuary where we can relate with the spiritual realm, with the spiritual world, which means that we are already spiritual, because since God is a spirit, according to very many spiritual traditions, God is known as a spirit, and it is very true. And we also have a soul. That means that we also have a spirit. What we want, what we need to do is that we should wake up to the knowledge that if we have a spirit, since we have a level at which we operate spiritually, that means that we are already spiritual. We are already a reflection of God. That is why we don't use words like look for, pursue. No, the right word is supposed to be wake up to the fact that you are spiritual. If we say that, we mean that wake up to a realization that you and God are already connected. The reason as to why, if you don't realize that you and God are connected, you are in fact disconnected, because spiritual beings operate at a belief level. They don't operate at a sight or touch level. They operate at a belief level. That is why, if you can check in all spiritual traditions we have on the globe, you realize that when the Quran is brought to people, it requires them to believe. And if they believe, it means that they are believing that Allah is interested in them, or is asking them to wake up to the realization that, first of all, He exists, and to the realization that they can have, or we can have, a relationship with Allah. It is the same thing when we have a Bible. The Bible is having a lot of words, but all those words are requiring us to believe that God exists, and to believe that we can have a relationship with God. And that is why God also wrote all those books. I have mentioned the Quran and the Bible because they're the ones that are so much known. But we have a lot of other books in the Buddhist, Hinduist, Taoist, and all the other regions like Judaism, Confucianism, and others. They all have sacred books. But the presence of sacred books implies that the divine, the great spirit, the creator of heavens and earth, the king on the throne over the known and the unknown universe, is interested in having a relationship with human beings, which means that he's not trying to recreate them into spiritual beings, but rather they are spiritual beings who have mastered the art of operating at the physical and at the psychological realms or levels of existence. And therefore, they need to be reawakened. They need to be reminded. They need to be helped to acknowledge again, to recognize the fact that just like they are physical, just like they are psychological, they should wake up to the realization that they and God are connected. They and God are related. They and God can have an intimate relationship. That's why we call it awakening to spiritual fulfillment.